Chapter 15. "You're sure Hammond stole the blue book?" Gil asked. Millie nodded. "But why would he?" Ray asked. They had slipped from the line of students and were sneaking past the cauldron and apothecary. Gil had nearly turned back to tell Master Vale about Hammond, but she was lost in the sea of students rushing into the flask. Besides, the masters had to stop the mist before it returned. That left him, Rhea, and Millie to stop Hammond. "You don't steal the Master of Enchanting spellbook to put it on your bookshelf. Hammond's desperate, and now he's tipping his cauldron." Gil's mind raced. "But I still don't understand how you saw Hammond. How did you know he was sneaking around the Hazel house in the first place?" "It was Ash," Millie said quickly. "He smelled Hammond, and I knew I had to investigate. I found him sneaking into Hazel House before the dance, and a knight seized him, brought him to the Iron Hall for questioning." The four of them slipped past the apothecary and descended the hill. "We barely made it inside when the mist came. It couldn't enter the Iron Hall, hovered just outside like it was afraid. The knight brought Hammond to a detention room while I waited with the other knights. Before long, a wind swept it away." "That was the yew tree, right after the dragon attacked," Rhea said. Millie looked as though she'd swallowed a yam. "Dragon?" "Yes," Gil said. "But how did Hammond escape? You said he was locked in a detention room?" "Picked the lock somehow. When the guards went to check on him, his door was open and he was gone." Gil saw the scene play out. That's when Hammond stole the blue book from the House of Masters. The streets were empty, and we were still trapped in the snowball. They stopped on the hill and peered over Grent. People crowded most streets despite the late hour, and Gil wondered if the mist had descended on the town. What could townsfolk and merchants do against malevolent magic? "He could be anywhere," Rhea said, worry bleeding into her voice. "I know where he is," Millie said. Gil knew too. The busiest streets blazed gold with alchemical fire, but Gil looked past these. His eyes swept over the cozy shops and street corners the penny players made stages, deeper into the city. Street by street the lights thinned, until they were overwhelmed by shadows. He looked deeper still, and there in the heart of Grent lay a stretch of darkness. "He's gone to Slater's Pass." The main street was buzzing with townsfolk. An old, green-eyed woman jabbed at Hazeltop. "Saw the smoke right there. Yes, I did. Like you took the lid off a giant pot of soup?" "Might be. One of their dragons turned on them. You heard the baker's boy. Said he saw a dragon flying out of that smoke just after dinner." "No wonder you ain't seen it," the woman crowed. "Had your head in a soup bowl, I'd say." "I'd agree if you'd call your slop soup." Gil, Rhea, and Millie and Ash passed shopkeepers hanging outdoors and onlookers clogging the streets. It seemed everyone wanted to be part of the happenings, though no one knew what had happened. Gil met eyes with one shopkeep, and the man grinned. "Potion sale tonight, young master. You'd do yourself a good one buying a few before morning. Smart boy like yourself. You know these might be the last potions out of Hazeltop. Half the school's burned, I heard." "Check your ears," Millie called. Their shadows lengthened, and soon the shops gave way to taverns and inns. The swell of chatter faded behind them, and they no longer had to weave through a congested crowd. The taverns seemed unusually quiet. They passed a half dozen quiet as trees before Gil saw light splash across the street as a distant door banged open. They continued forward. With each pace, Gil's unease grew. A smith swung the tavern door open, and a boot-stomping song thundered out. He slammed it shut, and the tavern signpost swayed. "The horseshoe," Rhea said warily. "You know it?" Gil asked. She stopped. "My parents told me about it." "And?" Millie asked impatiently. "It's no place for us." "We're not supposed to go to any taverns," Gil said. Rhea was still watching the horseshoe on the signpost. "This one especially. It's a place for people who don't like magic." Millie frowned and walked forward with Ash. What's not to like? Many things, if you don't have it, Rhea said. The door opened once more, and two men stepped out. The first turned to the second. I say we go up the hill and have a look. Whole school is in the mist for an hour, sleeping like stones. Keep it down, ingot brain. Don't know who's listening. A bit of patience. The men slipped into a side street, and their words followed. How do they know the mist made people sleep? Gil asked. Word travels fast, I guess, Millie said. Rhea shook her head. They're part of something larger. A plan against Hazeltop. Even if they are, there's nothing we can do right now. We have to find Hammond. And soon, Millie said. The moon bathed the streets in pale light as they advanced. Even now, part of Gil hoped to see Hammond step out of a shadow, grinning and laughing at some joke. Could Hammond really have stolen the book? Too soon, they reached the darkness beyond the torches. Only the moonlight guided them to the familiar branch from the main street. Slater's Pass, Rhea read from the signpost. You think he's in there? I'm sure, Millie said. It seemed she was staring deep into the darkness. Have your potions at the ready. We may have to confront him. Her hand fell to her stylus and Gil's to his potion belt. They entered the dark alley, passing stairs leading to cellars and strange stores. Gil remembered following Hammond down this alley, how his friend had turned the corner. Mist had sprung up in his wake and taken the form of a wolf. Gil's heart pounded as they approached the bend, but there was nothing. Ash sniffed and peered around the corner. Come on, he's close, Millie said, her voice certain. They turned the corner. A small, hunched building lay before them, the faded letters over the doorway obscured in darkness. What is this place? Gil asked. Light shone from one of the windows overhead, and there was a startled shout. Millie burst forward with Ash and threw the door open. Gil and Rhea followed. A single torch burned inside, casting light on an old cabinet behind a counter. One set of stairs rose to the second floor, another disappeared downward. He's right above us, Millie hissed, pulling her stylus free. Then she was bounding up the stairs with Ash, Gil racing after. A corridor stretched from the top of the stairs. Light spilled under one door in the corridor, and Gil heard a desperate voice, Hammond's voice. Please, it's nearly too late. Millie threw the door open and froze. Ash panted beside her. Gil pulled a potion from his belt and darted forward. He stopped as well, confused. Hammond sat inside, the blue book open on his lap. He looked tired and haggard. He held the hand of a young woman resting in the bed beside his chair. Something about her was strikingly familiar. Something about her and Hammond. Hammond sprang to his feet, putting himself between them and the woman. You're here to bring me back. Why did you steal the book? Millie asked. You knew the masters would expel you. I had to. Why? Hammond clenched his jaw, eyeing Millie's stylus and Gil's potion. You can't stop me. We won't let you hurt anyone, Millie said. Confusion crossed Hammond, and then he laughed. It was the deep-bellied, true laugh that could not be faked. Something clicked into place in Gil's mind, and he realized something. Millie, Gil said. Look at the woman. Her hair. What about it? Millie snapped, but her eyes flicked from the woman's curly brown hair to Hammond. Who is this? Madeline, Hammond said. My sister.